Well, on this week's mega deal, we take a look at national carrier Kenya Airways fleet expansion and, of course, the renewal plan, which marked an important milestone. That's, of course, with the arrival of KQ's first Boeing 787 Dreamliner jet last Saturday. Now, the Great Rift Valley, that's, of course, what the plane was christened, is the first of 6 Dreamliners that Kenya Airways expects this year as part of a plan dubbed Project Mawingu to acquire at least 20 new aircraft by the year 2016. Let's take a look at the journey that Kenya Airways has made so far towards the mega acquisition of this aircraft. Now, in April 2012, Kenya Airways raised 14.8 billion shillings. That's, of course, through a rights issue of a targeted 20.7 billion shillings. A month later, that's, of course, in May, the national carrier borrowed 164.5 billion from Afrexim Bank to finance the acquisition of 20 planes. 9 new Boeing Dreamliners, of course, are in the plan. 1 Boeing 777 and 300, and of course 10 Embraers E190. Now, out of that amount, 138.5 billion shillings will go towards financing aircraft delivery costs, while the remaining 26 billion shillings will be used to make pre-delivery payments. Now, plane manufacturers require that airlines meet between 20 and 30% of the value of pre-delivery costs at least 24 months before the actual delivery of the plane. Now, over the next 10 years, the national carrier intends to increase its fleet from the current 44 to 119 and its network coverage from 58 to 115 routes, with the Far East appearing to be the favorite destinations for expansion so far. Well, let's now head over to Michael Njenga, and now you need your pen and paper for the Tender Corner.
Absolutely, it's time for the Tenders Corner. And let's now take a look at the tenders we have lined up for you this week. Starting our list is Kisii University. The institution has issued over 50 tenders for the supply of tenders of cartridges, office furniture and fittings, cutlery and grocery, printing and promotional services, general office stationery, charcoal and dry firewood, farm inputs and chemicals, sanitary bins and sanitary services, print and electronic services, and hiring of tents, chairs and sound system. You can obtain documents from the university at no fee and submit them on or before the 22nd of April this year. Number 2 on the list is Royal Nairobi Golf Club, which has issued 38 tenders for the supply of meats, vegetables, milk and milk products, mineral water dispensers, cleaning detergents, printing services, garbage collection services, taxi and car hire services, laundry and dry cleaning services, and soft drinking and fresh juices for a non-refundable fee of 3,000 shillings. You can obtain the tender documents from the golf club offices on Mushai Drive off Ngong Road and submit them by the 6th of May this year. And our final tender this week is from Gateway Insurance Company. The insurer has issued 38 tenders for the supply of general stationery, catering services, there's gardening services, taxi services, cleaning services, delivery of flowers, office interior design services, fuel services, furniture and fumigation services. You will have to part with 5,000 shillings to obtain the documents from Gateway Insurance Office along Milimani Road. Documents should be submitted at Gateway Place by the 17th of April by noon.
And of course, we want to thank you so much for the feedback coming through. And of course, it is exactly 1 year since the Jubilee government came into power. And we've had discussion not only on the effects on the economy, but also the opportunities that existed within the year and the, of course, the opportunities that we are expecting going forward. And just some SMSs coming through, not some very positive ones. Of course, Jubilee has failed Kenya. Cost of power supply beyond 1 to 4. A poll is now 50,000 shillings, while in the Kibaki administration, it was 34,892. What has happened?
Well, somebody else here is of a different opinion. Says Jubilee government has done a recommendable job for improving Kenya's economy, but as a Kenyan entrepreneur, I will want to see interest rate brought down to a single digit.
JC Baringo from Eldama Ravine says, why are pensioners forgotten? No pension increment for many years. Should the Jubilee government do something?
Well, many people have been talking about youth and women when it comes to tenders and all. But Angelina says it is one thing to use women and youth as a game changer, but it is another for them to understand how to go about their tendering procedures, which are so difficult for them to access.
And of course, just before we have a look at what's been coming through from our Twitter handle, the county governments have killed local businesses. Single permits have doubled in all categories. Taxation is horrible.
Absolutely. And looking at your tweets tonight, we have at Eric Cliff 2, I am more than convinced that we are headed for great things in this country.
And at Odhuku says, my county is Kiambu. All I can say is that Kabogo has never done anything of investing, no governor investment policy.
Well, we have at Comrades Forum KE, not really. Many graduates are still jobless, basically.
And at Giddy Z, no touchable plans. I assume you mean no tangible plans for creating jobs.
Well, then just a quick one. Ruto is watching us from Njoro tonight and says Jubilee have achieved, especially in availing fertilizer in time and affordable prices. He says, I salute them.
Okay. It's interesting to see at least mixed reactions, some saying they've done a good job and some saying there's a lot more that could have been done. But interesting from the discussion where the director from the private-public partnership unit said, you know, treat this, it has been a foundation year. You cannot expect the government to have delivered so much within 1 year. And
actually here on Business Center, we make sure that we tell you the tenders to go for. And remember, the youth and women, all these tenders, they keep saying that we have slots for youth and women, and every time you talk to these people who are giving out these tenders, most of the youth and women are not going for them. Please, we do this so that you can go and apply for these tenders, and also listen to the closing dates for the tenders, because some people have been going after the tenders have been closed.
All right, and that's how we wind up from the Business Center tonight. I am Terry Anchibet. Let's talk again next Wednesday. Koheri.
Thank you very much for being with us tonight. My name is Michael Nchenga. God bless.